there, and welcome back to Weird Soda for Life. Do y'all know why Frosty the Snowman was the most deadly spy of all time? Because he had a license to chill. Ah, ah, you get it. Anyway, welcome back. And welcome back to Weird Soda for Life. Today we are trying Sprite Chill. Um, we have hit the part of soda season where the mainstream soda companies, your Pepsis, your Coca-Colas, your Dr. Peppers of the world, are all trying to roll out their fun summer sodas that aren't too wacky, because if they're too wacky, it'll really turn you, uh, Bob and Betty beer can, off of all the soda. So we have to like balance that fine line between being a little whimsical but not too whimsical, uh, because y'all can't take it. And if you truly believe that, you have not been watching my channel for very long. But we are hitting that part of the season. Over the course of probably the next several weeks, as time and supply permits, we probably will be trying, if most, if not all, of the unique sodas that come across. But today we have Sprite Chill in front of us, as I've said before. This is apparently a cherry lime flavored soda. I know that because this is on the bottle, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But to tell you a little bit about what Sprite Chill's gimmick is, apparently it is an ever cold soda. That is to say, you try it and it's chill, and then, well, I know I keep saying chill. You try it and it's cold on your tongue, like a soda from the fridge would be. Um, but then as you keep drinking it, your tongue remains cold, right? So it's like constantly being a crisp, cool experience inside of your mouth. I don't know what I think about that. I will note that Coca-Cola, which of course owns Sprite, um, has experimented with this before. With Coca-Cola Starlight, the creations that was supposed to taste like space and really tasted like a burnt marshmallow. Um, that also had a slight cooling, like, tinge to it as you continue to drink it, which was supposed to emulate the coolness of. I was going to say the cool, and then the coldness, the coolness of space. But something that Sprite notes about this particular flavor is that they have a proprietary. Let's see, what does it say? A proprietary blend of cooling agents. Um, I just assume that's a bunch of little mini spies in your mouth. But the more important thing about it is that they note that it is cooling without mint flavor, which either tells me that there was mint inside of that Coca-Cola Starlight and the burnt marshmallow was just too strong, or they were using that particular creation, which of course is their truly experimental brand. If we're going to say any part of Coca-Cola is experimental, um, they were trying it out in that particular can then, and now we're seeing the results of that now. I'm not sure which one is actually the truth, and I probably won't know because I don't work for Coca-Cola. But I am intrigued to see if this does what it says on the tin. And then also, I'm a sucker for a cherry limeade. I've said this before several times on the channel. And if this tastes like a cherry limeade, I may be all over it whether it cools my mouth or not. Um, but I think you guys can see I have two bottles here. And that is because I don't normally drink sugar sodas except for the channel, as I've mentioned multiple times. But I also don't drink Sprite very often. I use Sprite often as a mixer for other things, but I usually don't tend to drink it on its own. And so, in order to kind of give the sort of benefit of the doubt, see what the baseline was, I thought it would be fair to try a little bit of, like, Sprite, right? And I thought it might be fun to kind of compare, because what actually caught my eye when I was in the store, and what caught it was, like, as you can see, and there's a little condensation on it, which is why I'm wiping it off. Um, Nice, clear. You know what Sprite looks like. Like, it's Sprite, right? But what clued me in that this might be a little off was that, as you see, if I'm wiping off the condensation, this thing is still cloudy as hell. Like, when I saw it, I thought to myself, what is that? Is something wrong with this? Is it super cold in the cooler? And no, it is, well, cloudy, right? Um, as you can see, and I like this because we can compare the labels, right? There's not too much of a difference between like the Sprite Chill design and the Sprite design. Though I will say, looking at both, they have changed the fonts for both. And I guess in a couple years ago, I don't know. I don't really keep track. I do remember when we tried the Sprite Limeade Legacy last year. I don't think they had really changed the logo then. So it has to be sometime between last summer and now, or I'm just incredibly unobservant. But um, you can see the differences like when it's not coming back up, but you can see the differences there, right? But I thought it would kind of be cool to just compare that a little bit. But with that, we are going to do our time traditional sniff test. So let's get this bad boy open. And unlike a lot of the other sodas I drink on the channel where it's in a glass bottle, I never have to worry. I know this is a twist top. Okay. I will say you do smell some cherry in there. It smells like traditional, like cherry soda, right? Not cherry Coke, but like a cherry soda. You do get the lime in there. The lime actually kind of not overpowers, but it seems to be the more dominant scent just barely than the cherry. Um, but other than that, not a whole lot to write home about. Let's see what I'm not going to sniff. I was going to say, I'm not going to sniff the Sprite. And again, phrases that I thought I'd never say in my life. But I'm going to take a small sip of this so I can kind of get the baseline, get my expectations in order. So give me a second. All right. It's nice to know they haven't changed this flavor of Sprite. Sprite still tastes like Sprite. Like, that's always reliable. So, and with that, let's see what we've gotten ourselves into. I will note, both of these were in the fridge, but the Sprite was cool on my tongue, but now my mouth is back to being hot. I said what I said. All right. Okay. That pause, usually when I have a pause like that, that means that I'm trying to struggle for the flavor or anything else. I'm not actually trying to struggle for the flavor. It tastes like cherry syrup kind of poured into Sprite, kind of a little bit Shirley Temple esque. Um, I kind of actually find the cherry a little underwhelming, so I guess we'll go with the flavor first. I find the cherry a little underwhelming. There is cherry in there, um, but it's not an equal balance. Just like with the scent, where the lime sort of became the more dominant scent between the cherry, that happened too within the flavor. There's cherry in there, but it's not cherry heavy. So if you like a little bit of a sweetness of that with your Sprite, you're fine. Like it's fine. As we talked about, a lot of these sodas are meant for John and Jane Doe, like we are, and they're not meant to be super wacky. They're meant to make you want to buy more of it, but not go too so far afield that you are alienated. And with that, it succeeds. So good job. I was sort of waiting to see if I could feel that cooling factor, right? That's what I was pausing for to see if it just hit different, and I did it 3 different times like I normally do, um, trying to see if it did anything. And as I've continued to talk, I there's something there. Um, it's if you were expecting to be blown away with wow, not mint, but kind of like just a cooling effect all over constantly. This is not it. Um, that's not to say there isn't a cooling effect of some sort. it how do I put this? It's well, it doesn't taste. It feels. It feels. Have y'all ever used Vicks Vapor Rub and you've gotten just a smidgen left on your finger? It's not enough that it's really, really cool, but it's enough that it's kind of like tingly-ish and you know it's there. That. That's what that is. It's enough that my tongue knows that something is there. And when I breathe in fact, you get kind of that effect, but it's not cold. It's not mind shattering. It's just, well, that's lingering a little longer because of a sensation on my tongue thing. And it's not even that strong of a sensation on my tongue either. I it's sometimes it's really hard to rank sodas like this because of the nature of them, that the baseline is so like in the middle, that and you don't expect it to dip too high or too low, that it's kind of hard to rank. If you see it, go get it. If you like cherry, um, I again with a lot of these, if it's easy enough for you to purchase, I think you should. Like, in fact, in the blurb, which I will have linked in my description here in the video, Sprite says that the reason why they did this, why did you do this, was that they were doing this to quench fans' thirst for variety, and the exclusive badge value associated with trying and sharing limited time only beverages and experiences. I personally feel called out by that because that is the premise of this channel. Um, but they're not wrong, and I would encourage you to try it for the sake of that. You know, it's worth having. But if you're expecting to be blown away or get some massive brain freeze from this, I was gonna say from this Coke, from this Sprite, you're not gonna get brain freeze unless you stuck it in the freezer and then tried to chug the whole thing at once. So if you're looking for that, this isn't the one. Next week, we are continuing with our summer of mid-range uniqueness. TM, TM, TM. We are going to try one of Pepsi's summer sodas, Pepsi Peach. However, we may try a second soda with that too. Pepsi Peach is coming. It has come out this year, and I do have a bottle of that. But it's supposed to have a counterpart in Pepsi Lime. If I can get a can or a bottle of the Pepsi Lime, we will try both on the channel. If not, we will stick with the Pepsi Peach. Until next time. Oh, and then also I kind of want to know, we are getting closer and closer to my 100th video on the channel. So maybe something will be in store, or maybe I'll just be too tired to do much of anything at all. We'll see. Um, but until next time, drink weird. And if someone tells you you have no chill, it's because you didn't go to the store and buy this soda, I guess. I don't know what it could be otherwise. See you next time.